to the public about issues in the Willagee electorate, and in particular the Liberal Party. And now I was with the Liberal Party for quite a few years, and I left the Liberal Party at the end of 2011 because they treated me like crap. They, well, first of all, I'll talk about this candidate that they've endorsed for the Willagee electorate. His name is Sam Pipponen, and the Herald wrote an article about him on September the 22nd, 2012. The Liberal candidate for Willagee is a Serpentine Jarrahdale councillor who 2 years ago pleaded guilty to failing to keep kennels in a satisfactory condition. Now, this man lives in Oakford, and I'll tell you what the Liberal Party did to me in the Willagee electorate in a meeting, a so-called AGM of the Liberal Party at the Willagee, for the Willagee branch, 16th of May 2011. It was a Monday evening, and there I nominated for president of the branch, and this is what they did to me. Matt Taylor, Nick Goiran, and also the state director of the Liberal Party was at the meeting, Ben Morton. And what they did is they brought this man, Sam Pipponen, over from Oakford. He lives in Oakford. He lives near where I grew up, actually, Canning Federal electorate and the Armidale state electorate. And what they did at this so-called AGM, they don't have, it wasn't constitutional branch, they didn't have 30 members. And they brought this man over from Oakford to deliberately to shut me out. And that was done by Ben Morton. Well, Ben Morton supported it. He didn't actually do it, but it was done by Matt Taylor and Nick Goiran. And what I have to say about Matt Taylor, who's been endorsed for Bateman, Matt Taylor has won Liberal pre-selection for the safe seat of Bateman, but the decision isn't final until the State Council sings. That's October the 13th, 2012 in Fremantle Herald. Mr Taylor, a sustainability urban development consultant who lives about 1.3 kilometres outside the electorate. He doesn't live in the electorate, he lives in the Willagee electorate. Won a knife-edge 10-9 vote. But this is what they did. This is how corrupt the Liberal Party is. They don't care about constituents in each electorate. All they do is they step over you, they use you, they step over you, they do whatever they want, they say and do whatever they want to get pre-selection, and then once they're in the parliament they just help each other and serve the rich pretty much, and they really don't look after or help anybody. But what he's done is that's a decision to be ratified by State Council. But this is how corrupt the Liberal Party has become, is that they brought people like Matt Taylor for pre-selection and against the local member, a lawyer, Simon Creek, and there was a third candidate involved who didn't get it. But they're so corrupt that it's a small group of people who are controlling the decision making. They disregarded 100 or so party members from Bateman from voting. So initially the pre-selection was going to be decided by plebiscite, which includes with 100 or so party members from Bateman voting. But they excluded them. See, they don't care about the voters in Bateman at all, do they? If they can exclude 100 party members from the Bateman electorate in the electorate in which they're processing the pre-selection candidate, and totally exclude 100 voters of the Liberal Party, members of the Liberal Party in the Bateman electorate for the candidate for the electorate, well, obviously they don't care about the members in the Bateman electorate, and they don't care about the constituents or what the constituents think in Bateman to obtain their candidate. So what I'm suggesting is the voters of Bateman find one or two quality independents in your electorate and vote for independents. And don't vote for Matt Taylor. He doesn't live in your electorate, and they organised to exclude 100 party members from the Liberal Party from Bateman from voting in that pre-selection process. How corrupt is that? They don't care about anybody. And I'll tell you what Matt Taylor did to me for nearly 3 years, and I'm telling the public the truth. This is the truth, and I'm telling the public because this is the sort of thing that they do. For 3 years, nearly 3 years, I supported him. I supported him when he was the candidate for the Willagee electorate, and I supported him when he was the Fremantle federal candidate against Melissa Park. I supported him vigorously, and the reason why is because he told me that he was a Christian. Okay? And then what he did to me, what he ended up doing, he just used me, treated me like crap in the end, because when I went for a leadership role within the Liberal Party, he squashed me like that, he stabbed me in the back and he dumped me, and he brought this, he helped Nick Goiran bring this Sam Pipponen over from Oakford. He doesn't even live in the Willagee electorate, and that's what Matt Taylor did, and that's what Nick Goiran did. So they don't care about people that live in this electorate, and they don't care about people, all they care about is themselves in the Liberal Party, and all they do is use you, step on you, do and say whatever they want to say to get a pre-selection. They don't deserve to be politicians, they're not leaders, they're corrupt. And even the Southern River member is supposedly a Christian. He was a Christian minister, and he's done nothing but, they don't do anything. All they do is toe the party line. All they do, they provide no proper leadership, in a sense. They don't speak out on critical issues. They can't go, they're just puppets for Colin Barnett and the other politicians. And the truth is that they're not effective leaders. They're selfish, and they'll do and say whatever they can and step over as many people as they can and hurt as many people as they can to get into Parliament. And I ask the voters of Western Australia, is that the sort of politicians that you want? Is that the sort of politicians that you want who will, regardless of the party, regardless of which party they're with, whether they're with Liberal or Labor, is that the sort of politicians that you want? That they'll step over anybody, they'll use anybody, do or say whatever they can or have to do to get into the Parliament. And everybody knows then once they've done that, then they're not effective leaders. They're just selfish and greedy, and that's the truth. And he's not a Christian man, he's a total hypocrite, you know. And when I confronted Nick Goiran and Matt Taylor and asked them to apologise to me for what they'd done, they just laughed. They thought it was a big joke. They don't respect women leaders in the Liberal Party, and they say, oh, it's got to be on merit. Well, basically, okay, it's got to be on merit. Well, I'm an experienced teacher, I've written books, I'm smarter than most of the people there, and I've got morals and values, and yet you can't see that I'm a quality leader. Well, the fact is you don't care about women leaders at all, and you maintain your the current hegemony, which is dominant male leadership within the Liberal Party, because you can. And to say that it's on merit proves that you're saying you have to prove it's on merit. It proves that you don't respect women leaders, that you won't give equality, gender equality in leadership to women, 50-50 to men and women, which is what all political parties do. I encourage men to help us. In fact, I've got more men helping me in this party than women. And you don't respect women leaders. You, generally speaking, Australians don't respect women as much as they should, as much as they do in Europe and the United States. You don't respect women leaders, and that's proved in all professional fields, in politics, judiciary, you know, I suppose in teaching there's some areas there's more women, but there should be as many men in teaching as there are women. It should be half and half. And the argument that you provide, the men in the Liberal Party provide, that has to be on merit, is that that just maintains your dominance over the leadership roles in the Liberal Party. That's all that does. It proves, that comment proves that you don't respect women leaders, even if they are meritorious, because what you did to me proves that you don't have respect for women leaders. Because I'm willing to speak my mind and speak about issues, talk about issues that I believe are important for our society. And if you can't respect that, if you can't see that as meritorious leadership, then you don't understand the conception of leadership. I have a Master of Education specialising in leadership management, and I've studied leadership in great detail. Great leaders in history who sacrifice, engage in goodwill, intelligent and have morals, they search for the truth and they seek greater things, the greater good for society and for the citizens of our society, and they sacrifice in doing that, in persevering. They persevere to maintain their integrity, and that's what great leaders do, and that's what I strive to do. But you're dishonest. You'll step over anybody that you can step over to get where you want. And Matt Taylor, you are a hypocrite. And if it wasn't for people like me, you wouldn't have gotten as many votes as you did. So I learnt a big lesson there, and that lesson was, just because somebody says they're a Christian, it doesn't mean it's true. And you can bring this ring in from Oakford to contest the Willagee electorate. Well, I'm asking the voters of Willagee to not vote for this person, Sam Pipponen, who lives in Oakford. And that's what they did to me. On the 16th of May 2011, 16th of May 2011, the meeting at the Willagee Community Centre, my brother-in-law Peter was there as a witness, and another man, Vincent, and they brought these people over from Oakford to control that executive. And you can try and deny it, but if you deny it, you're lying, and that's just further evidence that you lie. You treat people like rubbish, you step on them to get where you want, then you try to make out you're a good person, and then you lie. Well, I'm telling the public the truth, and it's the truth. Who would respect you for bringing someone over from Oakford? And Ben Morton was in the meeting, he allowed it to happen, he chaired the meeting. So you bring someone over from Oakford and you expect the public to vote for them. You do it to me, you treat me like rubbish and you expect me to be silent about it. Well, I'm happy to tell everybody what happened. And it's absolutely the truth what happened in that meeting. You know what happened in that meeting. And if you try and deny it, if he's trying to deny it, you're lying. So why should anybody trust any people like you? You know, you don't even live in the Bateman electorate. Yet you'll do anything you can to win a seat in Parliament. Say and do whatever you can to win a seat in Parliament. You're a hypocrite. And the voters of Bateman should vote for an independent and get new people, a new person in the Parliament. In fact, across the whole state of Western Australia, I encourage all voters to vote for independents and to contest, get a record number of independents to contest the election, and do it in the federal election as well. And keep voting for independents until we can register a new party, the West Oz Party. And also across the country, other states, I had a gentleman contact me from Queensland and says he wants to do exactly the same thing in Queensland as what I'm doing here. And I said, go for it. You know, I'm not about controlling people. And if New South Wales wants to do the same thing in Victoria, we'll go for it. You know, I'm about empowering other people, encouraging other people, and wanting the best for the citizens of our country, and helping people in our society, and not controlling anyone or stepping on anybody to do or say what I have to do. So I encourage other people in other states to build a party like ours, where we seek to help the citizens as much as possible, and forget about the other politicians and what they're doing. But I encourage people in West Australia to vote for independence, and throughout Australia to vote for independence. Just keep voting for independence until we get new people in the Parliament and get rid of the current people who have become corrupt. And, you know, those parties, the sins of those parties are piling up and up because they've just been doing the same thing for so long. Nobody trusts them. And keep voting for independence in future elections, state elections and federal elections, until we get new people in the Parliament and we can register a new party and continue to build new parties. And that's the way to empower the voter, that's the way to empower the constituent, that's the way to empower the citizen, and people like me who will keep my eye on the citizen and the residents and the people, you know, the voice of the people who come to us for assistance, and not pursue build a political party or pursue to be elected to the Parliament for selfish reasons or selfish gain, or for you know, what can I get out of it, or corruption, engaging corruption, because this is exactly what this sort of thing is. You know, you step on people, you just do and say whatever you want, you use people up, you treat them badly so you can get into political office. Well, you've sinned against me, haven't you? And I've confronted you about it, Nick Goiran and Matt Taylor. I confronted you about it and I asked you to apologise apologise to me, and you laughed and you wouldn't apologise. You think it's a big joke. Well, obviously the Lord is on my side, isn't he? And obviously I can sit here and talk to the public about it with a clear conscience. Because it actually happened. And if you deny it, you're lying. Who wants to, you know, who wants that sort of leadership? You don't have any leadership vision. There's no vision. Is it just puppets for Colin Barnett and the others? And when you engage in dishonesty and when you treat people badly to win political office, well, why should anybody vote for you, and why should anyone want you to be in the parliament, and why should anybody support you or other people who do the same thing? Thank you very much.